What's up, my triple love and greasy fingers YouTube friends? Oh yeah. Alright guys, we got redemption all tore down. I've seen some comments in the video about piston wash, so I thought I would take a minute to explain piston wash. And I'm sure somebody can more scientifically analyze this and explain this in more technical terms than I'm possibly going to be able to explain it. But I'm going to explain it the way I can remember it. And it's a pretty easy way then to figure out what piston wash exactly looks like then. So I have my 3 pistons here that just came out of redemption. This is the PTO. We got the center. And we have the mag. And there was somebody that commented on there that he gave a great explanation of what was going on here on each one of the pistons. And I just want to go back and kind of explain this in, I think today we'll use bush light terms. Not technical terms, bush light terms. So once I explain this in bush light terms, I'm sure many of you are going to understand what's going on inside your cylinder then. This is rich. This piston wash is extremely rich. This is still rich. This is mediocre. This is safe. This is a very safe running piston right here. This could be, you could still run this down to below 0 probably with the jetting that was in there. I'm running 350 straight across on these cylinders. But I could probably go a 350, a 340, and even a 330. And it's odd to say, but a lot of triples run different size jetting, especially the Storms. Storms all run different jetting. And some of these Ultras do. When you put pipes on them, you're all over the board on your jetting. But from looking at these pistons, I would safely run a 350, 340, 330 in these cylinders. And if I did that, this thing would just rip because it would be getting ultimate. It'd be running just primo then. It wouldn't be running too rich because like this one right here, even when I pulled the plug, I knew this thing was running rich in a couple of the cylinders because the plugs would be just jet black. And sometimes they wouldn't even have color. They'd just be washed clean. So if you think of piston wash versus, say, well, let's draw a top of a piston here. You got a top of a piston right here. So your piston wash, if you were to spill, say, an empty can of beer that you've already finished, you spilled a little bit of beer on there, that's going to dry up. It ain't going to take long at all for that spot to dry up. So imagine that in the color of your pistons here. So if that dried up, let's say if you just poured black something on there, and that's going to dry up fast, and that's going to stay on top of your piston then. So let's say that's lean. That's a lean condition. You're going to have a lot of black on your piston for lean. So let's draw another piston now. Take this piston here. For example, this one. This one's running rich. Let's say you just opened up your can of beer and you got one little drink on it and you spilt it. That piston's rich. That's wash. That's a lot of wash. That's going to take a long time to dry up on there. So, that's rich. That's lean. That seems simple enough to remember, doesn't it? More beer, wet, clean, less beer, dry and dirty. More fuel, clean, getting dirtier, less fuel. So, that's me explaining piston wash using bush light terms. Hope everybody understands all that now. But when I put this thing back together, I'm honestly might leave the jetting, or I might just drop this one cylinder to 340 and leave the center. I mean, that one's, it was 25 out the last few weekends I've ridden this thing. So this is getting borderline rich. This one, I wouldn't trust this one jetted with 350s. If it was 10 below, I wouldn't trust this. But ideally what you're looking for, see these spots right here? These are from the intake ports inside the cylinders. And this is where your fuel comes in at. And then that's what actually cleans the piston off. The more fuel in there, the more it's going to clean off that top of that piston. And if you look in the cylinder, if you look down here, here's your intake ports. And that's where it's getting, let me orientate this correctly. This is where it's getting that wash from, is inside when the fuel comes in the intake port. So obviously, the more fuel that's going to come through that intake port, the more it's going to wash your piston, the less it's getting burned in there. And see where this one is, see the center intake port? This piston's clear across right out the exhaust port too. So I mean, this thing is just running so rich. That's why there's almost no color on this piston at all. And I've taken motors apart before, the pistons were clean. Example, Norge, the 800 Storm, when we had to take that motor apart last spring, we took it apart, all the pistons were clean on top. But we always knew that sled ran rich. But that sled was running forged pistons in it. It handled running rich fairly good. If we wanted to have more performance out, if we were actually racing the sled, yeah, we'd dial the jetting back. But we do a lot of trail riding with it. And last winter, a lot of times when we went out riding in the morning, it would be 10 below. It would warm up to 10 above by the end of the day. But that's the point where you decide, well, I don't want to risk running great and burning down, or you risk running so-so and you run it fat. So if the guy likes to tinker and change jets a lot, you know, you could jet daily if you wanted to. A lot of times with pipes and stuff, you almost have to, but that's me explaining piston wash. I hope everybody can understand it now, and if you want to look down inside your cylinders through your spark plug holes and check your piston wash, hopefully now you know what you're looking for. The plug is going to read different though. Your plug is going to be black if it's running rich. It's going to be white if it's running lean. It's different. The plug burns it off, where the piston's not actually, it's a whole, I'd have to be borderline scientist to explain it all, but it's a carbon gas issue, and I'm not going to go into all that. This example here makes more sense for most of us, but guess what I got today? The crankshaft for redemption showed up today. I actually Facebooked the guy yesterday, sent him a message, said he had a crank, brand new NOS crank. I paid him, he speedied it from Wisconsin to Minnesota. It was on my doorstep when I got home. I messaged the guy to see if I could use his name on YouTube. He didn't get back to me in time for this video, but the next video, if he gives me the all clear, I'm going to throw his name out at like every other word, because this guy, I'm telling you, to get a part that fast and an NOS crankshaft for a 680 Ultra, I'm jacked right now. Completely jacked. I got the knife. I got the box behind the camera. Let's dig in. It's freaking Christmas time around here. Amazing that at noon yesterday, we made a deal on this crankshaft, and it's sitting on my doorstep when I got home today. You can't ask for better service. You're not going to get better service unless you drove somewhere and picked it up yourself. Oh my God, I'm just like tearing into this thing. It is freaking, it's amazing. It's beautifully packed in here. Oiled up nice. Get that out of our way. Let's take a look at this beauty. Oh my God, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Oh my, oh, that's beautiful. That is gorgeous. That is absolutely, would you look at that? Would you just look at it? Oh, yeah, them actually feel like new bearings compared to what Redemption used to feel like. Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. Yeah, that's completely amazing. So I wish he would have got back to me. I can say one thing. His first name's John, but I'm not going to give his last name until I get the all clear that he's okay with me putting his name on YouTube. So, but John came through NOS Ultra crankshaft for Redemption. I don't know. I'm hiding most of my excitement right now. When this camera gets shut off, it's going to be freaking cartwheels and backflips all the way across the shop. Hope you guys can get a view. Look at these sexy little triples I got sitting back here. Oh, God, I just love surrounding myself around triples all the time. And I hope you guys love the triples too. Hope you enjoyed this video. Just a little short explanation on piston wash, spilling your beer, and look at the new crankshaft for Redemption. That's it for now, guys. Give me a thumbs. Cheers to all my friends.